Hello, welcome back. Welcome to Let's Find Out If Dandy Ace is any good. I've never played this. I have 30 minutes in this game. It came out like yesterday for me, but I like what I've seen so far. I think it's a fun aesthetic. It also, the thing that sold this game to me, other than the cool little pretty little Wario effect, is it got compared to Hades a lot. And I like Hades. I think it's an incredible game. It won every award ever. And now that I've played it for like 30 minutes, I feel like I can speak on strong authority that I don't think it's fair to compare this game to Hades. I think it's something completely different, and I think that every indie game for the next while is going to be compared to Hades, the same way every indie game for like 5 years after 2013 was compared to The Binding of Isaac. It has a story. That's where the parallels of Hades kind of end, and I really don't think the story is the hook of this game. What I do think is the hook of this game is the really fun combat. It is unique, which is actually very surprising nowadays. I can actually show you here. I have, I think, 3 runs, 4 of which have been, 2 of which have been cancelled because I've tried to make better recordings of this one. I don't know how this thing works. I've never uploaded before, but just okay. I was going to show off the combat, but or the way it works. The way it works is you have 3 kind of types of abilities. You have blue, you have pink, and you have yellow. Blue are all movement abilities, pink are all attacky, do things abilities, and yellow are kind of creative, play around them type of abilities. I don't know what a lot of them do. I'm not even sure if I got the yellow thing right. I read like a tooltip about like 25 minutes ago and I was like, good to know, I'll remember that. I didn't remember that. But you can see, if we get into like combat, you're gonna see that like, first of all, I'm gonna just let you know, the parallels to Hades do end with the description, or with the, what would you call it, the dialogue and the character stuff. But the lore of this game is not what I'd call, it was not what I would call the hook of it. What I would call the hook of it is that it feels really good. It's like, this is a surprise, because I didn't hear anything about this game. I just saw like the Steam review page, or the Steam opening page, and it was like Wizards, and I was like, hell yeah! I am going to eat this up. And I ate it up, and I paid €15 for a game that I know nothing about. And I'm glad I did, because it's fun. Like, there's a lot of depth to it, there's a lot of kind of creative, I don't know what you call it, like personalization, like no 2 runs are the same, and I like that. You know, the thing about like Hades, which is an incredible game, I don't want to say it's like better or worse, because it's so different, but the thing about like Hades is that like you have like 5 weapons in Hades, and you know, of course every run is kind of different because of the boons, but in this one it's like every weapon is different. Now I can't really say much. But it is a chest, you can get little new cards in the chest, and you can have 4 cards. You always start with 3, and you'll kind of unlock new ones along the way. And the ones you start with will always be terrible. You can see I just got this one, which I've never gotten before, but it seems better, so I'm going to put that on my main dash tab, which for me is A, because it's the button I can push the easiest. The other thing you can do is you can take a card, and you can put it as a kind of like a level up, or like an addition to a card that you already have, and instead of having it like on your base card thing that you can just, like for example, I have it here, and if I push B I can use that dash thing, but if I remove it I can put it onto a different ability, and see, this is really cool. It adds so much like customization to it. Haste, I believe that means that after you use it you get like a movement speed buff. After it, we'll put it on like my main attack, which is a terrible idea by the way. But yeah, look, I use my X now and I move faster afterwards. It's really cool. I'm going to put that on my dash. That makes sense because now I dash and I move faster. There's so much like customizing to it, and it's really clever and creative. I'm kind of disappointed. I don't even know who published this game. I really should have done research beforehand. But again, this game just came out. But it's kind of a shame this game hasn't kind of been released to much fanfare because it's so unique. It's such a cool little concept. I love the style. You don't see many wizards in video games. I was thinking that, like how you get like I don't know if anyone here like of my 4 subscribers have played like tabletop games. Also, never, you can see why I play strategy games more than I play action games, because Jesus, telling words and playing game make bad brain. But I don't know if anyone's ever played like tabletops of my audience, like D&D or stuff, but like nobody plays a fighter and says, God, I empathize, I identify as a fighter. By the way, these doors, you need keys that you get in the future as you kind of get on with runs. You'll get like club keys and heart keys and all these things, and they can get through. I don't know what they've done. I've got 35 minutes in this game, so I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. Routes of progression, really cool. But like anyway, with like D&D, anyone who's like played those classes are like, I always see myself as a wizard, or like I think I'm a rogue. Nobody says I think I'm, even like a barbarian gets some like attention. No one ever says I think I'm a fighter. Like they do. And I play as, like when I play those classes, I love fighters. I think they're very fun. But I wouldn't say to myself, God, I can't wait to play out my fantasy imagination dreams so that I can play as a guy with a sword, you know? Wizards and like mages and sorcerers and stuff always have like a, I don't know, like a cool aesthetic. Hold on, let me read this real quick. Ace creates poison cloud, poison, let's see what that does. Okay, I can live with that. I believe if you put the one that I just got onto the attack one, I think I've actually gotten it before, it does poison damage over time to the enemies, which is really cool. But what was I talking about? Yeah, like, despite the fact that like people always are drawn to wizards, like I want to say 95% of video games that come out are games where you play as basically a fighter. Like, why are there no mages or like no games about like being a wizard or stuff? There's like, I can think of like 3. And none of them are very good. There was like a Wizard Lizard, that game came out a while ago. Wizard of Legend, that game was amazing, everyone loved that. And Magicka was another great one that had a full-on like in-depth magic system to it. And every time one of the games comes out, everyone's like, yeah, I get to play as a wizard. But then like, you know, all the other, it never really changes the mold. Indie games are always the ones that do it, but I don't know. Then this one comes out and you've got like a full-on magic system to it, like a fairly in-depth one too, with all the like, oh, it's an awkward time to pause, but like with all these like customizing things, and I don't know, it's like there should be more games where you play as wizards or rogues, which I suppose is actually probably more common than even fighters, like stealth games, you know, that too. But I'm talking about like in a fantasy context, without like the whole, oh, sneak into a house, like, I don't know, like, it's the same with like books. Okay, hold on. One thing about this game is I'm going to need to shut up and read a lot, which you would think I would be used to in a channel dedicated almost entirely to RPGs and strategy games, but no. Ace to his management. This is just a damage buff. That is. Wait, what if I put that there, and now what's my? Okay, now it throws a. Wait, that's the wrong button. Okay, now it throws like a triple 3 combo. This is really cool and really complicated. I think I'm going to stick with the base being the stars because it's new and exciting. I like it. Holy Jesus. One thing I will say about this game, well, I've only got like, God, like at the moment like 40 minutes in it as of my 10-minute recording beginning, but it is quite hard. I've made it to the 2nd level so far. I'm also not very good at video games, so that might have something to do with it. But I do, I would consider myself to be better at like roguelikes than I would be, say, I'm trying to like, there's so much to keep track of. I'm like, I should end the combo after the big one so that I can go small, big. But then I'm like, does it matter? But yeah, anyway, lot to talk about with this. I've never made it to a boss. I don't know if there are bosses in this game. I know that there are like shops and you can like upgrade your cards and buy new cards and upgrade the cards, and you can get new shops and add cards to those things. It's really hard. I don't like playing non-RPGs, it's hard. I'm dead. Okay, well that was a good one. I think I did pretty well there. I forgot to mention, you have a heal. I unlocked a heal in the shop last time. Yeah, that's embarrassing. I had a lot, you know, I've noticed something. I'm going to try a new run because that's not going to be the end of this video. I've noticed something about my own YouTube channel, and that it's the first episode of every series that I do. I get fucking sensory overload and I try to explain everything and tell stories and keep it interesting, and then I die and I do terribly, and I end up not only not explaining what I'm talking about, but also somehow not even playing the game properly. So you know, you chase 2 birds with your catch neither. This time I'm going to slow my roll and maybe try playing the video game. That being said, I do want to talk about like the story of the game, the lore. I like this isn't really spoilers. It happens in the open cutscene, which I have since skipped. So you're probably wondering like who the Wario guy is. The lore of this game, it's extremely simple. Another reason why I don't think you can like really compare it to Hades is that like the story is you're a magician and the green guy is a magician and you are a better magician than he is, and he got jealous, so he like sold his soul to trap you inside of this magical mirror. It's not as in-depth as like the 50 layers of like Olympus lore that goes into like a specific other indie RPG, which I will leave unnamed. But Jesus, yep, just about to say I'm getting better at the whole dodging thing before I get hit by these things. Enemies will occasionally drop these little cupcakes, and you pick them up and you heal all the health that you just lost. You can see that if I hold LB, I will drink a potion. I can only use that once, either per floor or per run. I haven't worked out because I always forget to drink my potions. But yeah, just back to the whole like comparison of like the story thing. I would not buy this game for the story, but I would feel comfortable recommending this game for the aesthetic because it's really pretty. Like, it's so colourful, and like this is from a fairly like I want to check this and like add like a note in the description of like what else these guys made, because like if this is the first game that this company made, it's really impressive. Like, also I have to say, you can't really hear it over me, but the voice actors they do an incredible job with like a very minimalistic story. They put their heart in, hold on, let me read what my thing was. But the voice actors really like knock it out of the park. They do an incredible job with this, with the atmosphere more so than the story. They do a great job with what they can with the story, but I would really say the hook of Dandy Ace comes from the incredible like aesthetic that you have going. Anyway, let me read this. Ace attacks, giant punches, stuns. That's pretty cool. Okie dokie, it's a close range punch. Okay. But yeah, like massive props to what they did with this game, because I honestly did not go in expecting much. I went in being like, this is a fun little, indie games are big on YouTube, I could maybe be the indie game guy. But as usual, that involves uploading, which is something that I'm not. I'm never going to be the upload guy, but I might be, like, I like indie games, I have a big affinity for them, and I thought this might be a fun thing I could put up and maybe, get some, like, action, get some views and then end it. But I actually like the game. I've made it I'm making it past the Steam refund period, I can tell that much. But these are shops, by the way. If you have coins that you get from enemies, you can like buy cards and add to the good times. But yeah, like I made it to I've made it far enough into this game that I'm comfortably like, it's a good game. It's not just like first impressions, it's okay. I would play this, and there might actually be a series coming of this. But I never like promising those things because it's me. But what to do? But I think if I can, I don't know. I've realized kind of when it comes to YouTube, the most important. Are you seeing these dodges? The most important thing about like having I say in the first level, by the way, like, oh, I'm so good at this game. The most important thing about having a good and successful YouTube channel, I think, is finding a niche of the thing that you want to do. For a long time, and it still kind of is, the thing that I want to do is like make things and like playthroughs of like RPGs and strategy games, because I think they suit me better because there's a lot of downtime, and I prefer downtime as opposed to games where like they have sensory overload of pink flashing lights and like enemies everywhere. I do not have a big enough brain for like the Northern Lion thing where like you can just talk and also dodge and play games well. I'm not very good at the latter one. Let me just read this. What the hell is... I don't know what Hex does. A dash is for creating an explosion. That sounds better. Okay, yeah, it's just a better dash from an upgrade. Now I've added haste to it. Yeah, I think I've done this right. But like, also you can use these little teleporting things, and these can send you to the previous portals that you have seen in the course of your run. Where do I go? Am I crazy, or is there no route forward? What did it say about this door? I thought I went into this and I was like, oh, 30 minutes, that's enough to know everything. Oh, it's just this direction, I'm an idiot, I can't read a map. Apparently I do know enough to do this game. I do worry that, oh my god, I do worry that I maybe should have practiced this game a bit more, because I'm very bad and I have a small brain, so I'm not very good at explaining my things and dodging. But anyway, having like a successful YouTube channel, you can take this from someone with 10 subscribers. I think the best thing to do, not just for like your viewers, but for yourself, is to know what it is that, first of all, you're good at, and second of all, that you want to do, and stick to that. Like, because recently, one thing I've been really liking is book reviews on like YouTube. I've been really enjoying like, yeah, really intelligent, high quality book reviews of people who are smart and know what they're doing. Yeah, I think I'd be really good at that, because clearly my brain is massive and I'd be able to do something like that. That would be something I would like though. I'm going to do one more run. I suck and I apologise. I really thought that I thought I'd be better. I made it all the way to level 2 when I was doing practices. But yeah, when you're making a video, also the cards change sometimes, I should really check if they are, but we'll find out as we go. I like this Y one, it makes a bunch of mines, and I hated it when I first used it, but fortunately the AI are all idiots, so it's very easy to just make them like, hold on, I'm just like, oh look, I'm over here, you can't get me, okay. Helps if they're not ranged, there we go, you get the point. But like, I've been thinking about like branching out and doing kind of more versatile series, but then I'm like, no, people follow me at the moment because like my 5 subscribers, they like they like the terrible video games. But also I'm like, I've always wanted to kind of do, oh my god, it's the 4th enemy in the run. But like, I've always wanted to kind of do some stuff on like history and mythology. For those of you who don't know, I have a background. I shouldn't have eaten that. I'm so dumb. I have a background in history. I have 2 master's degrees in medieval languages and medieval history, and I want to kind of bring that to a genre that, and maybe this is a lack of experience, but my knowledge of the Let's Playing fandom is that there aren't many Let's Players who bring mythology into their stuff. Also another reason why I love Hades so much. But just to like kind of like do stuff like talking a bit about like fun culture facts and history facts, maybe even storytelling. I think I would be a lot better at YouTube if I didn't have to worry about sensory overloads. Also, it's not like it would be replacing any of the content I make, because I don't make content. My last video was in October. But like, yeah, I was just kind of thinking that like, maybe I would have a more successful channel if I wasn't like, today I'd better upload Damn the Ace. And this is kind of life experience because I know a lot of ye, the viewers that I have, either have YouTube channels or are thinking about having YouTube channels. I would recommend it, by the way. YouTube is a fantastic creative outlet. It's so much fun. I've met some really, in fact, I've only met incredible people from YouTube comments. Now that is a sentence that like 4 years ago I would not have seen myself saying, but it's true. When you start up YouTube, everyone who comments on your videos is going to be like the most lovely person ever. Mainly because they probably can sense your vulnerability, and maybe they can just sense my vulnerability, but like, I've never gotten a comment that was like, hey, it's been 7 months and you haven't made a video, what's going on with that? That would make me cry. But every comment that I have had in that vein has been something along the lines of, I really miss you, your videos were great, it was really nice to see you again. And I'm like, oh, they like me. So, and unless you're like yourself a massive terrible person, I really think that like you could meet a lot of great people. Not like, I wouldn't say like you're gonna form a bunch of everlasting friendships unless like you become really big and go to conventions and stuff. But hold on, reading time. Vulnerability. Vulnerability. Enemies take 30% more damage. That sounds like something I shouldn't put on my dash. But if you do make a YouTube video or series, I would honestly say it's a surprisingly healthy experience for like your mental state, especially in a quarantine. Which also, by the way, one of the reasons I actually a small but still prevalent reason that I actually took a hiatus for a long time was I felt like getting back into YouTube around the time the whole pandemic thing hit. For those of you who don't know, Ireland's been in a quarantine now for exactly a year. I think a year and 10 days as of the 26th of March, I believe it is today. Time has no meaning anymore. But when I started this off, I was like, don't let this be an escape. Like, let people just kind of get away from that. Like, everyone's talking about the quarantine, no one wants to hear about it. You know, you're just going to depress people. Now I'm like, the quarantine's become such a meme. Like, I don't even think people are like suffering from the quarantine anymore. I think it's funny. I think people are like, like, I swear to God, the day that I saw the first like meme video on like the beginning of the pandemic versus now in the pandemic, where like, you know, in the beginning you were like, I'm gonna bake bread and have a good time, and now you're like, what Netflix series am I gonna watch? It's hilarious to me that people are now getting nostalgic for the quarantine, for the early days of the quarantine, I should say. I'm very bad, but like, now I think we're at the stage of life where we can just be like, oh, I didn't get to pick up. What does that do? Push. Let's put that on the thing that is close range. There we go. See, when I'm not panicking, my brain does work quite effectively. But like, now I'm like, I realise that I can kind of talk about it a bit more. I really hope it doesn't dredge up any kind of bad emotions for people, because I know that YouTube is like an escape, and it's like, it's a fun thing that people can kind of get to. But I would like to make jokes and me. Holy shit, that was also, I'm not allowed to say those words, they're bad. That was another thing where swearing came up in my videos a lot, and I was like, oh, I really can't be swearing. Then I made a video about like what was it called, Deadwood. I made a video on Deadwood where like in the first like, I want to say 10 minutes I had to like mercy kill a dog. You know, it's like, I think the ship has sailed on my child-friendly YouTube channel for now. But I don't know. Like, when you start off at YouTube, you're going to be finding out what your channel is. But I would recommend, I don't know. I was going to say I'd recommend going into a YouTube channel kind of knowing what you want to be. Don't do that, that's a terrible idea. Go into a YouTube channel with the open mind that your 10 subscribers that are with you because they probably like you, I hope. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I've seen YouTube channels, you know, they've made their audience on being terrible, mean people. But I feel like when you have a small amount, you can grow with your following. You know, like, you're going to be getting new, hopefully you're going to be getting new subscribers every, you know, couple of days. So, you know, find what works for you. Maybe swearing works for you. Maybe being a child-friendly, wholesome, you know, Keanu Reeves streamer. That's what, you know, that's what you, that was, I put way too much brain power into dodging that attack. Okay, never mind, I didn't put enough brain power into dodging that attack. But you're going to find that, I don't know, I think that I actually, and this is something again I was not expecting, but I think you're going to find that making a YouTube series actually in a way kind of makes you a smarter person. It makes you know who you are and what you need to do to be almost entertaining, but also the type of person that you think that you should be. And if that person is a book person or a swearing person, you never know. Anyway, this is Dandy Ace. That kind of derailed. This was meant to be a look at, and it became more existential views on the values of YouTube. But that was the first level. I actually beat a level in the video. That was what I was hoping for. I hope you like this. I'm having a good time with it. I'm going to end this episode here because runtime 6 minutes is a very gross exaggeration of how long this episode's been going on. But it was fun. I enjoyed this. I'm going to probably do more episodes of Dandy Ace because it was fun. And I'm glad to be back. So thank you for watching again. Thank you for staying. I love you. And yeah, I'll probably have more episodes of this because Dandy Ace is a fun game. So thank you for watching, and I will see you again.